President Trump is claiming scalps, and he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. President Trump files a Mcus brief to stop Biden's sale of border wall materials for $5. Such conduct likely constitutes a criminal act. President Trump has filed an Mcus brief in a lawsuit by Texas and Missouri to stop the Biden regime's auctioning of border wall materials. As the Gateway pundit reported, the Biden regime is using its final weeks in power to auction off massive amounts of unused border wall materials that have been left sitting in the Arizona desert since Biden took office. Every day, an amount of materials that could build up to half a mile of wall are being transported north to be sold, starting at $5 each. Steel bollard wall sections with grout, according to the GovPlanet auction website. President Trump recently slammed the Biden regime for using their final month in office to sabotage Trump's America First agenda by selling desperately needed border wall for pennies on the dollar.
Administration is trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar, knowing that we're getting ready to put it up. And what they're doing is really an act. It's almost a criminal act. They know we're going to use it, and if we don't have it, we're going to have to rebuild it, and it'll cost double what it cost years ago, and that's hundreds of millions of dollars, because you're talking about a lot of wall. I built much more than I said I was going to build, but then after it was built, I said, you know, we can do some more, because it's sort of like water, people flow through, and that will pretty much really take care of it. And what happened is they just, as you see, they're trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar. And that's really, that has nothing to do with a smooth transition. That has to do with people really trying to stop our nation. And all it means really is that we're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars more, not even talking about the time. Time would be pretty long, but we'll spend hundreds of millions of dollars more on building the same wall that we already have. And people have already come back to us that have deals at 5 cents and 4 cents, and one guy at 3 cents on the dollar, and they offered to sell it back to us at more money than it cost us to build substantially. Can you believe it? So they make a deal with the United States to buy it for pennies, and then they call us and they say, do you want to buy it back? We'll sell it back to you for hundreds of dollars a foot, hundreds of dollars, from pennies to hundreds of dollars a foot. And we can't let this take place. Now, we're going to go. I spoke with the Attorney General of Texas. I spoke to the senators of Texas. I spoke to a lot of people, and hopefully they'll be able to stop. We're going to be, having a restraining order. But just think about how ridiculous it is. And this is just people that don't want this country to succeed. And this has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. This has to do with common sense. We won on common sense, and this is maybe one of the most egregious examples I've seen. So the people that are buying it or trying to buy it are trying to make a deal with us to sell it back at hundreds of times more than we paid. And this is all because the Democrats. So I'm asking today Joe Biden to please stop selling the wall. We're going to use that to create a strong barrier. And it worked. That's why our numbers were so good. It really worked, and it worked well. And it's very expensive to do. And I'm asking Joe Biden to stop his people from giving it away. It's something that people can't even believe is happening. So hopefully Joe will be able to stop it.
And Trump nailed it. These are people that don't want the country to succeed. And I'll take it a step further. Not only do they not want this country to succeed, they don't want Trump to succeed. We're talking about border security here. These people want you to die, if that's what it means for Trump to fail. Speaking of illegal immigration, President Trump has been putting major pressure on Latin American countries. Mexican president says she is ready to receive Mexicans deported by Donald Trump. On Thursday, the Mexican president announced that she is ready to receive Mexicans if Trump deports them back to Mexico. Bloomberg reported Mexico is prepared to receive its nationals living in the United States if President-elect Donald Trump follows through on his deportation pledges. but it won't serve as a safe third country for migrants of other nationalities. The Mexican president's administration is prepared to work in coordination with federal, state, and local authorities in the face of possible mass deportations. The Foreign Affairs Ministry said in a statement in response to questions from Bloomberg News. Trump's transition team has contacted the governments of Mexico and El Salvador through back channels about taking in some of the millions of undocumented migrants set to be expelled under his deportation plan. Trump's team and informal advisors have had detailed conversations with representatives of the two Latin American governments, in some cases via business people, about taking back migrants according to the people. You know what's interesting about this, and it doesn't get pointed out much, is even the Mexican president is making herself very clear. We'll take back the Mexicans, but we're not going to take back the Ecuadorians. We're not going to take back the Guatemalans because they don't belong in this country. This is not their country. So Mexico doesn't want these people. That's why America doesn't want these people. They need to go back to their own home country. Speaking of Latinas, President Trump roasts AOC with a funny and sarcastic quip after her bid to lead powerful House committee craters. AOC offers surprising response. As the Gateway pundit reported, AOC earlier this week lost her bid to be the top dog on the powerful House Oversight Committee to washed-up 74-year-old Virginia Democrat Gary Connolly, despite a significant push from outside forces desperate to see the Democrats embrace younger voices. He received 131 votes to AOC's 84. However, President Trump, who has been on absolute fire on social media in recent days, could not resist passing up an opportunity to needle AOC in a funny and sarcastic fashion regarding her miserable failure. He expressed mock sympathy for her loss and encouraged her to keep running, likely knowing that if she ever succeeded, it would prove a gift to the Republican Party. President Trump posted on Truth Social, "Really too bad that AOC lost the battle for the leadership seat in the Democrat Party. She should keep trying. Someday, she will be successful." One would think AOC would read Trump's post and lose her mind, as she has done in the past when people roasted her, but she instead took the teasing in stride, perhaps unaware Trump was making fun of her. AOC reposted Trump's post saying, "Damn, you know it's bad when even Trump is feeling bad for me." No, AOC, Trump just thinks you're an idiot, just like everybody else. Well, speaking of low IQ females, Blue Anon alert. Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar push wild conspiracy theory that Elon Musk and JD Vance are plotting to get rid of Trump. Goldberg backpedaled after suggesting assassination-like comment. The leftist meltdown has reached new lows as Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar of The View peddled an absurd conspiracy theory, accusing Elon Musk and Senator JD Vance of scheming to get rid of President Donald Trump. Goldberg kicked off the bizarre rant questioning who's in charge and insinuating that Elon Musk believes he's the president. The conversation spiraled further into lunacy as Goldberg floated a sinister insinuation that the duo might be planning to kill Trump, meaning Elon Musk and JD Vance.
Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I've called him vice president. I called him president because I don't know what JD is doing. I hardly ever say. I don't remember the last time we even talked about JD.
You're right. He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
So you think it's Musk Vance?
Possible.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Because, people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs. Watch out.
And these people wonder why their ratings are tanking. Not only is this low IQ, not only is this not entertaining, it's brain rot. It's absolute brain rot. And anybody that sits here and watches this could figure that out within 5 seconds. Well, not everybody in the media has lost their mind. Joe Rogan slams Democrats, media, deep state for insanely dangerous precedent of using judicial system against Donald Trump. During a recent episode of his podcast, Joe Rogan spoke to the former governor of Illinois about the way Democrats, the media, and the deep state used the judicial system against Donald Trump, noting that had it worked, would have set a dangerous precedent for the country.
And all that weaponizing of the justice system didn't work. If it did work, that is such an insanely dangerous precedent to set. when you see things like the documents case or the real estate case, which is the most disgusting one, pretending that Mar-a-Lago, that somehow or another someone was a victim because he overvalued Mar-a-Lago, even though he paid all those loans back and the banks profited from it. There was no victim at all. And yet they fine him this fucking insane amount of money and try to say that Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million. I mean, that is just such a slap in the face of anybody that understands. First of all, anybody that understands property values in that area. That's preposterous to say that place is only $18 million. It's a fucking enormous property and the most expensive real estate in the United States, or one of the most expensive places for real estate. And there was just so many of these cases over and over and over again that just right in everyone's face. And very little pushback, no pushback from the media at all. They went along with it as if these 34 felonies for a bookkeeping error that is essentially a misdemeanor that's past the statute of limitations, and now you're marking it up as a felony, but you can't even identify the felony. The whole thing is madness. And all these news organizations, because they don't like Trump, are going along with this insanely dangerous precedent. Because if that goes through, well, what happens if Republicans get into office and you have some new Democrat that you really love, and this Democrat is a real challenge and a threat to the Republican, and they start doing the same fucking shit that you did? Is that what you want? You want us to be a banana republic just because you don't like Trump? I mean, it just shows you how many people were willing to sacrifice all of their ethics, all the things that they believe in, what the Bill of Rights stands for, what the Constitution stands for. Fuck all that. We don't want this guy to win. Throw it all away. And then you throw everything away. Then we have no freedom of speech. We have no nothing. It's all gone. The whole thing is so mind-boggling how short-sighted people are in the name of wanting their side to win.
That's what this election represented, was a resistance to that tyranny. And now they know that we have an actual shot with Trump back in the White House to seriously push back for the next 4 years. My name is Drew Hernandez for the Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.